It's called Measure ULA. Measure ULA is backed by homeless service providers, labor unions, renters' rights groups, and affordable housing developers. It went into effect in Los Angeles on April the 1st. It imposes an additional 4% tax on Los Angeles property sales over $5 million and 5.5% on those sales above $10 million, with the tax paid by the seller. Now, it passed by the voters with nearly 58%. It is expected to raise $1 billion annually, and proponents say this will reduce homelessness, make housing more affordable, and protect low-income seniors from losing their homes. A $5 million sale would include a $200,000 tax, and a $10 million sale would include a $550,000 tax. The LA Times said some homeowners are looking to split up their properties into smaller parcels with different ownership so they can avoid the tax altogether. Rich people aren't exactly stupid. One Beverly Hills-based realtor said voters likely thought the rich would pay for it, but said it affects commercial developers on the commercial side too, and it could backfire. He said, "We need more homes here. We don't need people holding on to their homes and making them into high-level rental opportunities," end of quote. One developer said that even before Measure ULA went into effect, it already drastically restricted development in LA. It makes it no longer feasible for people to make enough money to want to develop, end of quote, he said. It reduces sales volumes, lowers transactions, and reduces property tax revenue and incentivizes developers to develop elsewhere, Beverly Hills, Newport Beach, or other cities that don't have a mansion tax. According to Fortune magazine, developers say the mansion tax will drastically slow sales in the luxury market and almost crush any demand from developers, and you've got prices now going down, end of quote. The tax applies to apartment complexes, retail and industrial buildings, and other structures. One real estate broker said, quote, "So you add another 5% onto the equation. A lot of times the margins are already very thin. If they don't have the incentive to build and people aren't going to build for a loss, we're going to have less housing," end of quote. Well, duh. It is also of questionable legality, possibly violating the state constitution and a measure that reduced property taxes that was passed back in the 70s called Proposition 13. Meanwhile, celebrities, many of whom no doubt vote Democrat, the party that always wants to raise taxes, well, they scrambled to sell their homes before the tax went into place. Celebrities like Jim Carrey, who in February put up for sale his 12,700 square foot home in Brentwood, listing it for $29 million. Jennifer Lopez also put up her home in Bel Air in February. James Corden listed his Brentwood Park house for $22 million before cutting it to $17.95 million. Britney Spears and Kylie Jenner also put their properties on the market. Ah, the hypocrisy of tax hikers who do everything they can to avoid paying the taxes they wish to impose on others. Want some examples? Well, then Senator John Kerry tried to avoid $500,000 in sales and excise taxes imposed by his home state of Massachusetts by docking his newly purchased $7 million 70-foot yacht in Rhode Island. Speaking of Massachusetts, it lowered its state income tax rate in 2001. Now, the famously liberal state allowed tax filers to check a box and voluntarily pay the old higher rate if they wanted to. In this liberal state of over 3 million tax filers questioned how many volunteered to pay the higher tax rate in 2004. Answer, a sliver of 1%, a total of 930 taxpayers out of 3 million. Among those who refused to pay the higher rate voluntarily were Senator Kerry and Representative Barney Frank. In Frank's case, he refused to pay the higher rate because he said, "I don't trust the legislative leadership and then Governor Mitt Romney to make the right decisions," end of quote. How do you think we feel? Instead, Frank said, "I'll donate the money myself." No follow-up on whether or not he did. Then there's John Edwards, a former senator and Democratic presidential candidate. His late wife, Elizabeth, once called him a person of character because Edwards voted against his own economic interests, she said, by voting for higher taxes. But as a lawyer winning major jury awards, Edwards set up a subchapter S corporation to pay himself through dividends and thus avoid $600,000 in Medicare and payroll taxes. Nothing illegal about it, but you'd think somebody who wants to pay higher taxes would pay higher taxes. The late Ted Kennedy and his family shield their money through a series of complicated family trusts, first begun by Father Joe Kennedy. The trusts transfer wealth from generation to generation while avoiding estate taxes. And this brings us to the late Ohio Democratic Senator Howard Metzenbaum. A liberal's liberal, Metzenbaum enjoyed a lifetime rating from the Americans for Democratic Action of 95, 100 being a perfect liberal, and a 0 from the American Conservative Union. Metzenbaum never met a tax hike he didn't like, but he moved to Florida when he retired from the Senate. Why? No state, estate, or personal income taxes. Can you say hypocrisy? And that's the elder statement. Inflation has consequences. As the Fed raises interest rates to combat out-of-control government spending, long-term bonds have diminished in value, crippling banks. Depositors are holding their breath, and investors are bailing on bank stocks. Diversification, therefore, has never been more important. The recent surge in gold prices is directly tied to the extreme market volatility right now. This is why gold has historically been a great hedge against the stock market and against inflation. Now would be a great time to diversify into gold with Birch Gold Group. Birch Gold makes it easy to convert an IRA or 401k into an IRA in precious metals. Here's what you need to do. Just visit LarryForGold.com to get your free info kit on gold. They'll help you convert your existing IRA or 401k that's tied to a volatile market into an IRA in physical precious metals, gold and silver. And the best part, it's tax sheltered. So visit LarryForGold.com to claim your free info kit on gold today. With an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, thousands of happy, satisfied customers, and countless 5-star reviews, Birch Gold is who you can trust to protect your future. Visit LarryForGold.com today. That's LarryForGold.com today. Now, do you remember this?
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Can I provide a definition?
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah.
I can't.
You can't?
Not in
Okay.
this context.
So you
I'm not a
believe the
biologist.
meaning of the word woman is so unclear and controversial that you can't give me a definition?
Senator, in my work as a judge, what I do is I address disputes. If there's a dispute about a definition, people make arguments, and I look at the
All right.
law and I decide. So I'm not.
The fact that you can't give me a straight answer about something as fundamental as what a woman is underscores the dangers of the kind of progressive education that we are hearing about.
Hey, I'm not a biologist. I'm just a judge. Well, move over, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. Meet the new Prime Minister of New Zealand.
I just wanted to ask you, given comments by Keir Starmer in Britain, how do you and how does this government define a woman?
To be honest, Sean, that question's come slightly out of left field for me. Biology, sex, gender. People define themselves. People define their own genders.
Whoa! That came out of left field.
Just a bit outside.
This is a self-described civics teacher.
Where the does it say that you have the right to an AR-15 in the Second Amendment? Go ahead, show me. I'll wait. I'm a whole ass civics teacher, and I've never seen the word AR-15 mentioned in the Constitution. Go ahead, show us.
Well, I'll tell you where the blanket comes from. An AR-15 is a semi-automatic rifle, as are most firearms in America. One pull of the trigger, one bullet. It's not a machine gun. According to the Independence Institute, a think tank, AR-15s and other similar firearms are what are called bearable arms, as in the Second Amendment confirms the right to keep and bear arms. Two Supreme Court cases on the Second Amendment, Heller and Bruin, both establish that the Second Amendment extends presumptively to all bearable arms, Ms. Teacher. Second, banning such firearms is not consistent with the nation's history. Indeed, the Supreme Court 30 years ago established that such a ban is inconsistent with the nation's history. It held that AR-15 rifles, quote, traditionally have been widely accepted as lawful possessions, end of quote. What's more, the historical boundaries of protected arms have already been established in those two cases. Those cases make clear that the only arms that are not protected are, quote, dangerous and unusual weapons, close quote, meaning citizens have a right to possess and use arms that are, quote, in common use today, end of quote. Are AR-15 rifles in common use today? Are they dangerous and unusual? Not at all, as they are among the most popular firearms in the nation. Recent data indicates that Americans own at least 24 million AR-15s and similar rifles, and that they constitute 20% of all firearms sold in recent years, and that they are used for lawful purposes such as self-defense, training, and hunting. It therefore follows that Americans have a Second Amendment right to own and use them, just so you know. Last, looks like Mr. Sylvester Stallone is having a little difficulty adjusting to our new woke world.
What's going on with this country in general nowadays? Does that mean like your generation? Seriously. Come on. And these pronouns. What the is with the pronouns? He, she, him, they, the, boom, bang, ba, fang, cool. You know what my pronoun is? Guess. Time's up. Okay. It, as in it, can't take this anymore.
As my little brother Dennis used to say, I smell what you're cooking. Whoa, what's this? I have a pair of my slippers in my baby brown libertarian fingers. Look at this. Aren't they beautifully designed? They come in different colors, and if you don't like this design, there is another design to choose from. And this is the brand new, hot off the presses, MyPillow 2.0. Even more comfortable to sleep on than the original. All you have to do is call the number on your screen or go to mypillow.com, promo code ELDER. And this is a 6-pack set of MyPillow towels that work, meaning towels that are absorbent. They absorb the water. Isn't that what you want towels to do? Have you noticed, you go to these stores, you see the towels, they're all stacked up there, different colors, they look fluffy, they smell great, but they don't work. They don't absorb the water. These do. They come, of course, in different colors. Finally, this is the MyPillow Giza Dream Bedsheet. Giza is in Egypt. It is the area in the world where the finest cotton is found. Best ever. How do we know this? Mike Lindell scoured the world to find it. Now, they come in different colors. Mine, of course, is white because I am the black face of white supremacy, but you're not. You may want a different color. And of course, they come in different sizes because beds come in different sizes. There are over 100 MyPillow products. Just call the number on your screen or go to mypillow.com, promo code ELDER. That's mypillow.com, promo code ELDER. Now, I know you like the show, so hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. We want to get our subscriptions up. And then scroll down and get on our mailing list. Why? Because from time to time, for reasons that we have no idea, YouTube has issues with our videos. To make sure you get all of them and you don't miss any, get on our mailing list. Also, you see that round donate button? Hit that. Throw a little something in the tip jar to make sure we can continue giving you great, hard-hitting, honest programming. Remember, LarryWithEpoch.com, LarryWithEpoch.com. I'm Larry Elder. This has been the Larry Elder Show for Epoch Times. Remember, we've got a country to save, and I will see you next time.